What's happening, Nooch?
Well, Fish, it's not just football season, but it's hurricane season.
Yeah, it is. And we got hurricane over there.
One over here.
Yeah.
Uh,
We got this guy. We got a
yeah,
special
Reed
guest, Reed Timmer.
Reed
Welcome
Reed
to the
Timmer, man.
set. Storm
Yeah,
Chaser
he's
Reed Timmer.
yeah.
Nice.
Is it
R-
good that he's watching us? Because he normally just watches storms.
Yeah, he's where he needs to be, bro. He's right here in
Yeah,
Tiger
he's
Stadium with us.
uh, yeah. Real quick, shout out to our two new sponsors. Uh,
Oh yeah.
Up here on this big screen is Lazy Bee Hay Farm. Over here we
Very
got Lane
familiar with it.
Yop Lures.
Yeah,
They paid for this
Lanyap
new
Lures and
fancy
Lazy B.
desk we have and the cute little TV monitors that
Yeah.
we had installed with the hurricane updates.
Uh and then Reed Timmer. So if y'all don't know who he is, he's a really a world famous storm chaser. I
That
know
dude's
Indy
nuts.
Tiger knows who he is, and I know Nooch knows who he is because I introduced him to you, right?
Yeah, yeah, your house for Hurricane Ida just over three
Yeah.
years ago.
Wow, I can't believe it's
Yep.
been that long since you've been to my house. Where the hell you been?
Uh, I've kind of bounced around a little bit in that time. South Louisiana, Alabama, Dallas. Now I'm in Odessa. Uh, and here we go. This is I think we came up. This is our seventh podcast in 6 years dealing with a hurricane
It's
coming.
nuts. That's nuts. Of
Yeah,
course, five of them were in one year.
yeah, they were. That was the 2020 shit show season.
Yeah,
Then we had
everything
the
was a shit show about that season. Hurricanes Laura and Delta, Zeta. I
yeah,
don't even remember all of them. There's one with an S.
Sally.
Sally. Yeah,
Yeah,
tons
Beta
of them.
also came through.
Yeah. How many times in that season I remember you saying that what you got over there and what I got right here, the track of the hurricane. There was so many times in that season that your house in Montague, Louisiana was in the track, in the cone.
I was uh I was at
Just
one time inside two cones at the same
at the
time.
same time.
At the same time.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
And actually that year I got very lucky. Zeta did make the reclaim pretty much I rode Zeta out at my house. I went outside for the eye. They upgraded Zeta to a category 3 posthumously, and I would never actually want to ride out a 3 at my house, but I did.
But you did.
No, none of them compared to what Ida did 3 years ago, though.
What do you think about that picture right there? That's Lazy Bee Hay Farm.
Uh, that is great. And I have to say one thing I love about West Texas. West
Them
Texas knows how to
sunsets.
sunset.
They know how to
It
end a
does.
day. I put that on Facebook before, I've shown pictures
They
and I said Texas knows how to end a day.
hey, and look, sunrises are just as awesome too. So they start a day wonderful, end it wonderful, and man, look, we're starting to get our fall weather here. Fall in Odessa is amazing.
All right, let's see. This is Lazy Bee Hay Farm. That's from this morning. I took this.
Nice,
Um oh
very
by the
nice.
way, I'm Lazy Bee Hay Farm,
Yeah,
in case y'all don't know. But yeah, that's some hay bales we got. That's my neighbor's. I gave those to him because he came and baled my hay. So he got five bales.
nice
And
guy.
let's see, here is yeah, my little tractor. One of the hay bales. That'll kind of give you an idea how big those damn hay bales were he made for
I'm
me. They
still
were
just
really
looking at the
nice.
original picture.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
weird. Oh, it's because my screen sharing is paused. How about that?
there you go.
Yeah, that's my little tractor, and that'll give you an idea how big that hay bale is, though. 'Cause
I was going to ask. That's a very small Kubota, isn't it?
that's not a Kubota, actually. That's a 55 horsepower Coyote tractor.
Oh, painted Kubota orange, or is that
It's
just my
painted. It's
computer?
painted coyote orange, actually.
Okay.
They both start with K, but yeah, they're orange tractors. They're not green because I mean I ain't paying that kind of money for that green paint. Anyway, that is
Yeah.
Lazy Bee Hay Farm. Next week I'll show you
Yes.
guys some lanyap lures.
Nice. Definitely.
Nooch has a
Next
couple of
week, you
lanyap
need to
lures.
figure out a way to get bottles of Abita Amber to Odessa, Texas.
I need to figure out a way. I
Somebody
live in
needs
San
to.
Antonio or outside of San Antonio. I can get a Beta.
I can't.
I know. I feel for you, but yeah, I have to get it at the liquor
I
store, and
can, but
every now and then it's at my HEB,
I have to drive to Walk-Ons in Midland and drink it in draft if I want ambers.
and then drive back to Odessa. So
Yeah, then
altogether,
drive back to
that's
Odessa.
a bad mixture there. Newt,
It's a
where on
safety
that
hazard.
map over your left shoulder, where on that map is your house in Montague?
This one,
Yeah.
that would be that red X,
And I think you just checked
right?
the track and they kind of inched it a little bit further east, huh?
A little bit. If people who really know what they're looking at, if you look at it here, right there, they got it crossing just to the west slash north of the Calumet Cut, or the Wax Lake outlet, depending on how old you are. Um, Now it's pretty much it's coming in much closer to where that Calumet Cut dumps into the Gulf. So it'll be in that area 7 o'clock Wednesday night,
The good
give or take,
news is,
is what they're calling.
um, right now, it looks like it's starting to ingest some dry air. It's not looking real like a storm that's going to blow up for sure. It's probably peaked. If anything, it may
I
get up
think
to
so.
a 9,500 mile an hour storm max.
Yeah, tops, tops.
So that's good, but still going to carry some storm surge with it. And Nooch told me his floor in Montague is 6 feet above sea level, and he
Yes,
is about 250 yards or feet.
yards,
Okay,
about
250
250
yards
yards from open water.
from water. So
Yeah.
not good. Not a good uh not a good place to be. But
Oh,
I
we
think you can be okay.
yeah, I think so.
Definitely.
We have the Morganza project out there now. So we got protection levees now that we've never had before. We'll we'll see if they work.
And I know Nutra's folks are there. His people you lived there all your life until last year, right?
Yep, I've been here just over a year now.
So yeah, I know you got a lot of people there. Glad you and your wife aren't there right now and
Myself.
your kid. But
Yeah.
prayers for those that are there and definitely looking like not a worst case scenario, but it's never fun to ride one of those things out when you're 6 foot above sea level. Not fun.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
definitely
know because I've
not.
never ridden one out at 6 feet above sea level. I've ridden them out at 6 feet below sea level, but but
Eh,
I was surrounded by 17-foot levees.
weren't you
So
in Metairie though? Metairie's not that low, is it?
yeah, where I was, it was yeah.
Okay.
That's a material. Yeah. I mean, Lakeview is like 13 feet
Yeah.
below. It's ridiculous.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Oh, so shit, you would get a nosebleed when you got all the way up into my elevation.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, over here, I'm really out of my element.
Yeah,
But
shit, dude, I'm 3,000 feet above sea level where I'm at here.
isn't that crazy? Because it doesn't seem like it, right? You don't have
No, it's
mountains
flat as
around
can
you,
be,
but you're
but we're
yeah,
29 something.
yeah. That's nuts.
It's
Um,
insane.
well, anyway, so we showed you our sponsors, showed you our new set. We got a
Yeah,
new desk. Nooch has made his
beautiful.
plea for a beta. If you notice, we got the wind bar right there,
Absolutely.
and we got a different helmet this week. We got South Carolina, but we're
Yeah.
gonna run over the Nicholls game, kind of like that quarterback ran over us, Guggenheim. Do you know I went to
Yeah.
high school with that guy?
Here we go with the Cade Peloso stuff again, huh?
All right, he and I went to the same high school. He just happened to go
Well,
to that high school 40
50 years
years or
after you?
so after I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, John
Well,
Curtis boy from Kenna, bro.
uh, I I went to Nicholls, so and the Nicholls backup quarterback, the one who finished the game, I taught that kid a two-seam fastball back in the
Nice. You
day.
coached
He
him.
played baseball with Calvin, and I was an assistant coach on that team that year. It was a hell of a pitcher back then.
For
I'm
those
not
who
shocked
don't
that
know,
he's a college
Calvin
athlete.
is Nooch's fictitious son. Actually, it's not fictitious. He's real. You saw him last week, but that's not his
Yeah,
real name. That's the name that my
yeah,
wife gave him because she forgot his name and she said, "What's his name? Calvin?" And I'm like, "It is from now on, baby."
Yep, it stuck.
Yep, his name is Calvin.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, Guggenheim ran all over our defense. Let's talk about that real quick. So after the USC game, well, before the USC game, defense was my number one concern, and after it, we were like pretty good on defense.
Yeah,
Not so much, not so much anymore.
no, not at all.
Mm-mm.
It's I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that performance. It was bad. That was
Yeah,
that was a terrible defensive performance. I mean,
all around,
it's
all three
Nicholls.
levels.
It's Nicholls, man. It's Nicholls. Yeah, they pulled the trick play on us, but another time, I mean, dude just ran 65 middles directly, 65 yards directly up the middle. There was
Yeah,
no tricks, no nothing, just directly between the tackle and the center, and nobody touched him until Ashton Stamps and PJ Woodland finally caught him at the one,
yeah,
65 yards later.
yep. And he ran right where our number seven on defense had been.
Yeah, yeah, he cleared out of the way basically to let him run through.
Did he clear out or did he get cleared out?
Eh, so I guess he technically went to his left, which would be the offense's right, and engaged. And the moment he was engaged, he was out of the play. That's
Exactly.
it. Once he's
And
engaged,
therein
it's
lies the
over.
problem with number seven, Harold Perkins. Kind of mentioned it last week. He's a tweener, not really a middle linebacker. Very gifted athlete. However, he is a man without a position. He is not a middle linebacker. When you
Yeah,
think of middle linebacker, especially, let's talk about LSU. Let's talk about LSU. Uh, Guy that comes to my mind is Kevin Minter. I don't know why, because he's not the flashiest, but
no,
solid. Solid.
yeah,
You look at the stat sheet at the end of the game, you're like, wow.
yeah. Perkins
What
would
does
have,
stat
I mean,
sheet say
Minter
at
would
the end of
have
this game?
uh 3 tackles, 1 solo.
That's your middle linebacker.
The lowest graded player on the team according to PFF for the game.
That's your number seven. And I don't mean to pick on him, um, but the bottom line is, I said this last week. I feel like there's got to be something there where Brian Kelly is saying, look, we got to get this guy to the league. I made a promise to his family. I made a promise to him. And the only way he's going to get there is middle linebacker. But damn it, you coach LSU. You don't coach the Ravens or the Cowboys or whatever. You coach LSU. At this point,
And
Harold Perkins is not going pro at the end of this year.
no, I wouldn't draft him.
No. Because where are you going to play
Not,
him? Running back. Maybe that's the answer. Because we damn
maybe.
sure don't have a running game. But let's stay on the
No.
defense for now. I don't want to get ahead.
Yeah. Uh, so you want more bad news? Jacoby and
Go
Guillory
ahead.
out for the year.
Yeah.
Torn
Early in the
Achilles.
early in the game. First series?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Torn Achilles. That going into the first game, the podcast that we did previewing the USC game, I said, well, that's our best. Been hearing a lot of good things about him. He's our best defensive lineman. He's gone.
Yeah. Out for the year.
This is
Relaford
starting
had a
to
good game
suck.
though
Who's that?
on D line. Gabriel Relaford. He ended up he was a top 5 graded on PFF. He ended up with 6 tackles, 2 solo.
Okay.
So yeah, something. I mean, we played Nicholls, but somebody did something.
We have defensive linemen that are good. Brady Swinson, Parashand.
Yeah,
Um,
Swinson was the second highest graded. Swinson had a
yeah,
good game.
he's so far he's had two good games. Been pretty impressed with him. Savion Jones, I
Yeah,
don't know what he
Jones.
did against Nichols, to be honest with you. He played well against USC. Um, but the bottom line is you had Jacoby and Guillory clogging up the middle. And if that did happen on the first series, it kind of makes sense why after he went out, they ran all over us.
Yeah, bad.
Guggenheim ran all over us. the quarterback from
Yeah.
Kennebra, John Curtis Patriot. He
Well,
ran all over us.
that explains the head condom he was wearing with all the war paint, I guess. I
That
mean,
he's a Kennebra. Yeah.
yeah.
I tip my cap to the dude. He
I
was
he had a hell of a game.
they
Can't you, that's all
I
you
don't
can
know
do
who
at
the
that point.
hell that was calling the game. They were terrible. But the
They were.
color guy, who was it? And I did not say the colored guy, you freaking race baiters. The color
uh,
commentator.
I don't know who they were, but they were
They were
absolutely
terrible.
horrible. They really were.
Um,
Uh, Look, even just the pronunciation, and I know this is Louisiana, and we have some crazy last names, but they literally give you a sheet of paper that explains how to pronounce these
phonetically.
people's names
Yeah.
phonetically. And look, I don't know about Nicholls' website, but on LSU's, anyone whose last name is even slightly weird, there's a cute little speaker next to their name, and if you click on it, it literally says the name out loud for you to hear how it's pronounced.
That's kind of funny.
It's
Um,
really not that difficult.
well, I know the one thing he said that I actually agreed with, he was trying to come up with uh, an analogy for that guy, and he said he's a war daddy. And who do we used to call a war daddy?
That was Jacob Hester.
And that's who he played like. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
who he
if
played
in
like. He played
fact,
like Jacob
uh,
Hester. He said he would have him in his foxhole. I'm like, I cannot disagree with you there.
he you know that long run, that 65 yarder he had, he even looked like Jacob Hester did against Louisiana Tech back in '07 when Hester broke a run for,
Hmm.
I don't know, probably somewhere around that same distance, 65,
Yeah,
70, something like that.
fastest I ever saw
Uh,
him run.
Farthest
Yeah,
I've
he's
ever
a
seen
war
him run for
daddy.
sure.
He's a
Yeah,
war daddy.
he's just a beast. And hey, look, you know what? They were right. It did not take deep into the game when you could see that LSU was getting tired of getting hit by this guy, and
Yeah,
that it used to be us delivering that, but you can definitely see where it wears on you when you just have a big, strong, physical back like that, and it started to take its toll early.
yeah. So that was the defense. My guy didn't have a good game. He had a good game against USC. He was one of the worst rated PFF. But who was the top LSU Tiger PFF?
That would that would be my man crush, Cy Alexander, and his first action since his ACL injury last September.
You talk about him for a
Uh,
minute. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go grab something. Keep going.
yeah, go ahead. Uh,
You're running the show, buddy.
Man, hey, no problem. I thought he looked good. He got in late. It was the second half, so he wasn't even playing against the starters. But rather than looking at what he was doing coverage wise, I was looking at how he was health wise. And he stopped, he planted, he changed directions, he cut, he tackled. Yeah, he's getting close. I think he's should get even more snaps this weekend and even more going forward from there. He probably our best corner guy.
Yeah, easy now. Come on. No, he was the other
Hey,
night for
I mean
sure.
he was before he got hurt, so he's at
Yeah,
least
he
in the
was.
discussion.
I mean,
He's
I think he and Stamps are both gonna be pretty solid as the season goes on. It's got to be Zai's last year, though, right?
yeah, he's a senior this year. So
And Stamps is just a sophomore.
right,
Second game of his sophomore season, second start ever. Um,
yeah,
I thought PJ Woodland, you know, he's gonna be good, but we're just
yeah,
young.
he's got Nooch's future man crush written all over him right now.
Okay, I can. I'm glad I got my guy for the next couple of years because I can't look right now and see anybody I want as my man crush on defense, and I don't
That
want to
would
go
be,
back
I
to
mean,
offense. You remember the last time I went back, I picked the offensive man crush. He wound up
is that
he
Besh?
plays for TCU now.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Yeah,
Besh. Okay. Is that the only offensive guy you've had so far?
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
and he plays for TCU now, so that's that.
Could
Anyway,
be worse. I picked a guy who ended up at Alabama.
I thought that didn't happen. You've always said.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. Anyway. The defense, really, all three levels was subpar. Defensive line after Jacoby and Guillory went out.
Yeah,
He's out for the season. Um, the linebackers, you mentioned Greg Penn had a good game and Weeks was okay, but Harold Perkins was
yeah.
the
No.
worst graded PFF LSU Tiger. Unbelievable.
And if you remember right, his freshman year, you and I were texting during a game, maybe Ole Miss, and I think you had made a comment, something that you thought Perkins was going to be better than Devin White before he left. And I said, shit, he might be better than Devin White now.
I do remember that.
Boy, has that changed since then.
Well, he's missing something that
It's,
Devin White has, and that's about 20 pounds
yeah,
at least. And
yeah,
he's not a middle linebacker, dude. He's not big enough. They need to move him if they're going, and they have to keep him in the lineup. Come on.
yeah,
He's that athletic, he has to be in there. But last year I thought he did pretty well in coverage. He's too big
yeah.
to
I
be a
thought
safety,
he
but he
was
can
one of our
play that
better
star
coverage guys.
position like Major Burns, and that would give you kill two birds with one stone right there. You get Major Burns the hell off the field, and you get Harold Perkins someplace
Yeah.
where he can be productive.
And I think it was last week we mentioned kind of put him in the Jacoby Stevens role.
Hmm?
I
I
mean,
think what we said was he was like Jacoby Stevens because he was a tweener. He didn't really have a position.
right, but Jacoby didn't really stud out at either safety or linebacker, but you put him in that kind of hybrid, mm, put him in a
And I think
position
that's what that
to see.
star position is.
Yeah, you kind of you adjust the position according to the play in front of you. It's
Yeah.
not you're not really a safety or not really a linebacker. We just need you to do whatever needs to be done on this particular snap. And I think he could do that.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows he's athletic. Um,
Yeah, he's
he's
ridiculously
fast to the
athletic.
ball, but he cannot get off blocks. He gets washed
No.
out. They know where he is now. And now he's got the big seven
Yeah.
on his jersey. They know right where he is. And every play that they broke up the middle, I saw him just he's out of the way. Just like my hand. It's gone. Out of the play.
Yeah. Like I
One
said,
blocker can
that
take him out
65 yarder.
easily. Yeah.
Yeah. At
And
that
it's not that,
65 yarder,
you
he was
mentioned,
he
he vacated the space where that guy went. He didn't vacate it. He got vacated by
well,
one
yeah, I
dude.
mean, he trended over to his left, the offense is right, and as soon as he was engaged by an offensive player, that's it. He
Yeah.
was out of the play. He
Yeah.
was
He's out.
locked up with a
Yep.
blocker
He
and
cannot
gone.
shed blocks. And I paid
No.
attention to that because Doxy on Game Day Tigers during the chat said at some point fairly early on, is Perkins out there? Like, and I started
Yeah,
really
he was.
watching then because I didn't know because I hadn't seen him. And the reason I hadn't seen him is because he was wearing a colonel everywhere he went. He
Yeah,
had a colonel pushing him around like nothing. Nicholls State Colonel
yeah, he's
just moved him wherever they wanted to be. They moved him out of that path. And he
yeah,
was there. He was out there. Yeah. Here he is. He got personal
yeah,
foul towards
just
the end of the game, and I made sure she saw that. You see him now? But yeah,
yeah,
man, I hate picking on him because it's not his fault. He weighs what he weighs. He is what he is. But he's not a middle
yeah.
linebacker. I
No,
say it's not his
no.
fault. He may be sitting there, be the one pushing him. Hey, play me at middle linebacker, or I'll transfer.
And look, you know, I can't stand the transfer portal. I hate everything that's done to college. But I mean, would we really miss him if he did? If
No,
this
and
is
I
the
don't want
position
to.
we're
I
going
don't
to
want to
play him in,
insinuate that that's what's going on because I have
no,
no
it's not.
idea.
But
But
I mean, what he's doing now isn't working. It's not in his best interest. There's no way. I mean, if you're an NFL GM, are you drafting him?
no, he's at this point, unless something drastically changes and he gets back to his freshman form, he's not going pro after his junior year this year. I'm not
No,
drafting him. He's
not early. At least you take a late flyer,
no,
maybe, but
yeah,
definitely not early.
maybe draft him on athleticism and say, you think, hey, can you catch? You make a pretty decent tight end or running back.
Yeah,
You know, I'm actually surprised we haven't seen him on offense yet. We can't get the running game going. Anyway,
Well, if he can't shed a blocker, I wonder if he can block. We put him at fullback.
what's a fullback?
I forgot we don't have those anymore.
No. All right. So that's the defense. We pretty much sucked at each level except for Nutra's man crush, who it was really good to see him back out on the field.
Very good.
And I did notice the same thing. I saw him on a play where he planted and sprinted towards the ball. I thought he was going to pick it off, and I was hoping if he did pick it off, he'd just fall down,
Yeah,
because
just die.
that's how he tore his knee up against what, Army
It was Army
last
last year.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah. Last second of the half, he picks the ball off and tried to run it back, and I'm like, man, just go down. We're killing him. Just go down. And he wound up blowing his knee out.
yeah,
Devastating. But hey, be a success story if he can come back from that and wind up having a good season and be. We need him.
yeah.
We
Definitely.
absolutely need
Look,
him.
good opportunity to get him some more snaps.
Hmm.
Conference game this weekend, so
Yeah,
it
I'm glad they
counts.
got him in last
It
week
matters.
to get him prepared for this game. Because yeah, but let's go to the offense before we go to South Carolina.
Okay.
Um, Offense is good, man. I mean, we punted once.
Yeah, yeah. Offense is
Overall, it's good.
yeah.
We
It's
can't run the ball.
no, we can't, but we can move it. I mean, Nuss throws 300 yards every game. Is just what he does.
And a
Throws for
lot of it's
300
dink
yards.
and dunk, which to me is almost like a modern day run game.
Yeah, it kind of is.
I
And
would like to see us be able to, especially against freaking Nicholls. I would like to see us be able to establish uh,
something.
ball control and just cram the ball down their throat and make them quit early, and then put the backups in and let them polish them off and just, that's a team you should beat
Yeah,
56-3.
yeah. No reason your starter should still be in a ball game in the fourth quarter against Nicholls, and they were this week.
I mean, Ricky Collins
So
came in towards the end for a couple of series late, but
yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah, Nuss was in
Uh,
there start the fourth quarter. I'm like, this is not good.
and look, really, we could have put Collins in. I honestly think they put Nuss in just so he could hit that 300 mark. But he left the
Maybe.
game earlier with that hobble. If I had to really gripe about anything, I would have pulled Nuss in the fourth.
I'm curious as to what was
And
going on because me and Nuge were talking about this earlier. At several points in the game, it looked like Nuss was, oh no,
yeah,
he's seriously hurt. And then he comes back in and winds up throwing for 300 yards. And then Kyron Lacey, same thing. Early on in the
yeah,
game, he left the field a couple of times, barely under
yeah,
his own power, limping really heavily. I'm like, oh my God, here we
yeah.
go.
Especially that one at the goal line when he jumped up. I was really worried that was a hip injury. His legs were opened up when he got hit on the inner thigh and kind of spun on his way down, and
Kind of
I
thought that
just
was a
knew
poor
he injured his
decision
hip.
on his part to even put himself in that.
Yeah, but
You like to see the
it's
effort, but I mean, man, don't kill yourself.
yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. We need him. We need that guy. One thing about Nuss, I will say, um, I think it is safe to say he is not the gunslinger that he has been previously, and that we all were concerned that he would be. But uh, he is not turning the ball over, and to that point, yeah, he had the late, like last play of the game, late interception against USC. That's his only turnover of the year. And
Yeah.
for the first time in an LSU uniform, when he's thrown over 12 passes against Nicholls, he did not throw an interception. So he seems to be much more in
Okay.
control of that. And he's, 74% completion percentage on the
Somewhere
year.
around there. Yeah, he's up there for the year. I know he was at 73 for this game.
Yeah, and I think he was at 74 for the last game. I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
somewhere there.
yeah,
So he's
he's at
very accurate. Uh,
He's right at dead at 75% for the year.
wow. Okay, so he was apparently 76 then for the USC. Good grief. Yeah, he's not the problem. The problem is a running game. Um, something I don't think you and I have talked about this, but I mentioned it after the USC game. I thought if they would have just run him a little bit, it might have opened things up. Evidently, it doesn't because they did run him this week a little bit. I mean, he took off. He got
uh,
a couple of first downs and made some plays with his legs. He doesn't have polio. That's good. I
no,
knew that.
he led the team in yards per carry.
God, ridiculous.
Yeah,
But he's not the issue. The running game is the issue. It stems from run blocking. It stems from, we thought Caleb Jackson was going to come in here and just light it up after his freshman season last year, where he had flashes of brilliance, but you know, he can't get anything going.
no, no, it's the run game's pretty rough right
Josh Williams is,
now. So
you know, not,
I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, I don't know. I said last week he's not RB1. I stand by that. I love the guy, but he's not RB1. He's never should have been expected to be RB1.
Right?
And yet here we are, and he's probably RB1. Who else is?
Yeah. Who is or who might be getting a shot?
Well, who might be getting a shot? I guess you're talking about Jawan Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jawan Johnson probably knew two plays going into Saturday, and he scored a touchdown on one of them, the pass play.
Yep.
Again,
Yeah.
there's your running game right now is little short passes, but hey, it works.
Yeah. Hey, whatever you got to do to get those yardage.
Yeah. And he scored a touchdown. Was that his first touch as an LSU Tiger?
Uh, it may have been.
If you don't know who Jawan Johnson is/was in high school, I think he's the Louisiana's all-purpose yardage leader. High school.
That's an
It's
impressive.
it's 15, 16,000 yards.
But either way, if you think about some of the guys who have come through Louisiana,
Kevin
that's
Falk, Michael Ford, Cecil Collins, Leonard
I mean,
Fournette.
few guys who didn't go to LSU. You Warwick Duns, Travis Minor.
I don't even
I
never
mean,
heard of those guys.
they went to Catholic High. I'm surprised that no one
Whatever.
told you.
Look, I've heard of work done. I got a lot of respect for work done. A lot of respect for
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
To
I mean, like I said,
I
we've had
understand
some.
why he left the state.
Yeah, I
You
get
don't
it.
know his story, look it up. That guy's got all my respect.
Yes,
But anyway,
definitely.
yeah, Jawan Johnson is no joke. Now it probably 2A or 3A, and it's different doing it against Newman, you know. But nonetheless, hey, Arch Manning, Eli Manning, uh,
Odell
Peyton
Beckham.
Manning, Odell Beckham, all those guys went to Newman at 2A
Yeah.
school. Uh, so yeah, Jawan Johnson's no joke. But he came in, he was quarterback in high school. And he came in, he's gonna be a DB. Well, John Emery gets hurt, he's out for the year, like, hey Jawan, you wanna come play some ball over here, with the offense? He scored a touchdown on what I think was his first touch as a Tiger.
I think it was. Yeah.
So, good on him. Glad to see that. Hope he can learn the playbook and get going with the offense, help us out. But anyway, Uh, let's move on. Who else you got on offense?
Uh, Tom, I don't know, dude. Offense. Look, Kyron Lacy's Kyron Lacy. I think he's gonna have a
Doesn't
good
look
year if he can
great.
stay healthy.
Yep.
Could use a little more speed. Can't wait to get Hilton back, which would be
Aaron
nice.
Anderson has been good.
Aaron Anderson's been good.
Xavier
We'll be getting
Thomas.
Parker. Hopefully, we'll get Parker back soon as well.
Xavier
We can.
Thomas has been great.
Yes.
not only as a receiver, but as a punt and kick returner, which is a welcome change.
Yeah,
We're pretty
very,
excited
very
about
welcome.
that. So the offense is fun to watch. We just got to work on the defense, and I don't know what to expect there. But we're going to play a conference game
Yep, Columbia, South Carolina, 11 a.m. kickoff, and
at an
college game
80%
day is
chance of
gonna
rain.
yeah,
College game day.
college game day is gonna
College
be
game
there.
days at LSU, South Carolina. Give me a break. I guess they go in there for
That's
the food. I mean, they got some good barbecue there. I don't know.
uh,
I don't know why they go in there, but hey, that's good exposure. I'll take it. Hope we
yeah.
win. South Carolina looked good against Kentucky last week, but you know the Tigers. I have a feeling the Tigers are they're gonna show up this week. Hopefully on
They need to.
defense,
We'll,
and
we'll,
hopefully
we'll
get a
see
little
how this
running game
looks.
going. Because yeah, we're gonna have to because it's supposed to rain too. All
Yep.
right. So I guess we'll see you guys out on the forum. Pray for those in
Yep.
Louisiana with these hurricanes and
Definitely.
this
Keep them
guy
in mind.
Reed Timmer. Hey, stay out of Nooch's old neighborhood, man.
Yeah, please do. Hey,
Thanks for
look.
joining us,
I
though.
yeah. Uh, if this had been a week ago, I would have had a house that he could have rented even, but it's off the market. I got someone in it now,
Nice.
but he could have stayed there.
That would have
Got a
been fun
real up
stuff.
close view. Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't pan out that it's a real up close view for your house. But hey, everybody, join
Yeah.
us at GameDayTigers.com. Low T told me I didn't need to say www anymore, so it's GameDayTigers.com. Hit
Great.
us up there. Join us in chat Saturday morning. Chat box link right up at the top of the page at GameDayTigers.com.
Yep. We'll be there. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers!